Yo, what up, guys? Happy Sunday. We're going to run through some player props. We'll look at the main platforms, PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, kind of all the main sports books. We hit a 40x on ParlayPlay. This was from the live stream, 40x payout, 6-leg parlay. So that worked out nicely, but unfortunately, we had two others that were almost a 60x, but the final leg, we lost one leg. But anyways, without further ado, what we can kind of do is just look for some bets on all these sports books. And I gave out some plays on FanDuel. You can see they have some promos, MLB playoffs profit boost. So I gave out those plays on Twitter, which, if you follow me on Twitter, you can see a play, a couple of the plays right here. So where's an example? So FanDuel has a 50%, 30% profit boost on the MLB. I ended up going with Christian Walker to hit a home run. You can see he's plus 600 on FanDuel. No other books offering better than, plus 400-ish, plus 450, plus 460. So pretty clear value. Here's what I ended up going with. But anyways, without further ado, we can kind of start to look for some picks on the main sports books. So the main sports books that are legal everywhere, we got Fliff, we got Fliff, we got PrizePicks, we got Underdog Fantasy. So why don't we start out here? On Underdog Fantasy. So we can start out on the Underdog because there's a shit ton of discrepancies right now. So if you go to CSGO, this is just one simple example, right? Look at this player, right? Brocky. This is crazy. His line on Underdog is 27. That's crazy, right? Like his line is 27 on Underdog. Look at Hot Streak. So this is another sports book. They have his line at 32.5. So it looks like they just bumped it down a little from 34.5. But still, like imagine an NBA player. His line is 27.5 points on one book, 32.5 on another book. You'd be like, yo, that's crazy. So one of the great things about, playing esports on these platforms is there's just so many games, and these books, like, they quite simply can't manage their lines. So you look at PrizePicks, they have this player's line at 30.5. Hot Streak has him at 32.5. If we go back here, and Underdog Fantasy is sitting at 27.5 for the exact same bet. This is the same damn player. The sports betting market is so inefficient, so fragmented. So what we could do is, again, you're going to need multiple sports books to do this. But what you could do is you could middle bet this, right? You could bet him over 27, under 32.5. If he has 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, you're going to win both bets. You're going to win your under. You're going to win your over. And it literally sounds insane. But these sports betting markets, like these sports books are so out of sync with one another, so inefficient, so fragmented that you can make a shit ton of money just middle betting, taking advantage of these inefficiencies in the market. And hopefully, we for sure are going to find some bets as well. You can see these books constantly moving around lines based on where action's coming in, injuries, lineup changes, all that stuff is reflected in the market. And that's what's so amazing, right, about sports betting is you have hundreds of sports books. They're all trying to set lines independently. All this crap, injury alerts, lineup changes, weather changes. The whole market has to update. All player prop lines move whenever a player gets injured. QB gets injured, every other player's lines have to move. And that's all reflected, in where sportsbooks are setting their lines. So nothing super exciting. Kind of bouncing back and forth in the Cowboys-Chargers game. But anyways, it seems like a lot of the early values in esports. So we might as well start with esports. So this plays a crazy discrepancy. So we have options, right? We could either just take Brocky over 27 here and bet him, we could middle this, take him under 37.5. It's kind of like if you could buy a stock on Fidelity for $27, sell it at $32.50 on E-Trade. It would be pretty damn easy to be a day trader if you could buy a stock at 27 and then sell it at $32.50 on a different platform. And that's essentially what you get in sports betting, right? These markets are just, so out of sync with one another. But you can see a lot of these plays are in the same game. So a lot of these discrepancies are showing up in the same game, But unfortunately, when you're playing CSGO on Underdog, you can only include one play from the same game, at least for players on the same team. So what we want to do is we kind of are like, okay, like there's a ton of discrepancies in this one game. Again, all the odds jam optimizer is doing, this little fantasy optimizer right here, is all it's doing is reading in all this data, right? There's tens and tens of thousands of lines on Underdog Fantasy. There's so many damn esports games every single day. OddsJam's just reading in all these lines, pointing out discrepancies. Most plays aren't discrepancies, right? Like if you look at the NFL tomorrow, Dak Prescott, his completions line is 22.5 on Underdog. If we go ahead and we check out, PrizePicks, where do they have him? They have him at 22.5 as well. There's no discrepancy in the market. There's no value in the market. No major discrepancy. We don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. There's no edge, no advantage. So anyways, crazy esports discrepancies right now. 27 versus 32.5. Crazy. So anyways, what we can do is we can kind of look for another pick to pair with on Underdog Fantasy. So some of these plays where there's only 2 data points, like here you can see, player headshots. Underdog Fantasy has this guy's line at 12.5. If we check out PrizePicks, so we got to go back to CSGO. If we check out PrizePicks, they have his line at 10. So there's this big discrepancy in the market, but there's only 2 data points. You only have 2 books posting odds. Again, all these books are, overall pretty good at setting lines. PrizePicks is $1 billion company. They have really good data feeds, really good models. You're not going to outmodel $1 billion company in setting projections. So the way you're going to beat these books is finding discrepancies from platform to platform. And you can see, if you take a look, they just moved that line on Brocky, which is super annoying. So maybe someone bet it ahead of me. But regardless, it's like whatever. All I have to do is go over and, find another pick I want to go with. And you can see we have a ton of options for this game. Like, look at this. It's like there's so many discrepancies in this game. So many discrepancies. So like here's another one, right? So we can go here with Kerrigan instead in this game. Underdog has his line at 22. You check out PrizePicks, 23.5. So even if you don't use PrizePicks, it's still a data point telling you, yo, this guy's line should be higher, right? And then Hot Streak, which is another sports book, you may use it, you may not, but they have his line at 25.5. So all these data points make it pretty clear that getting him over 22 is pretty clear value. So that's the first play we can lock in. And then we're going to head over to Valorant. So, there can be value in esports is great. The markets are super fragmented. These books, it seems like, have no idea how to manage their lines. So this is Valorant. So if we go back here, Valorant first 2 map kills. So we want first, let's take a look here. Got to reload it. Anyways, let's go back here. And let's go to Underdog, and then let's go to PrizePicks, and we can just kind of take a look at the lines really quickly. Prove to you I'm not, pulling crap out of my butt, is these are where actually, books have their lines. So where is Valorant? I don't even see it listed right now. Where even is it? I don't even see it listed right now. Maybe they ended up pulling it. So whatever, maybe we skip over this play for now. And let's move on to the next play. So this play is crazy as well, right? CSGO, first 3 map player kills. So if we just kind of pull up the lines and then we go to, first 3 map player kills, we can look at this discrepancy. 54, 59.5, 54.5, 55.5. So, we could middle bet this, right? We could bet this player. It looks like they already bumped him down to 58.5. But still, like every single one of these books, PrizePicks, $1 billion company, you want to put some weight into their odds. These books are taking bets, moving around lines based on where action's coming in. These lines are a source of information for us as the sports bettor. So we have our second good pick. So it's like, okay, well, actually, let's get rid of this play. What we want is sound over 54. So now we have 2 picks, different games. So nothing we got to worry about there. And then we just want to find like one final pair that we can go with, ideally with, a few different data points. So it's all about the data. The data never lies long term. Like if you want to be profitable sports betting, like I really recommend take your emotions out of it. Just follow the data, see how it works for you. It's going to make you more money. So we look at him, 14.5, PrizePicks, billion-dollar company, right? Where do they have their line set? Where is their model setting his projection? 17. So you could middle bet this, hit him under 14.5, over 14.5, or we can just take the over. But again, these plays are in the same game. So we're actually not going to be able to bet this play with the previous one. So we can only pick one of them. So there's no like perfect, science to this. You can pick, whichever one you want to. But you can see, damn. So here's another play that looks great. Here's an NFL play. So we finally got to Monday Night Football. We have Tony over 15.5 rushing attempts. If you look at other sports books like FanDuel, stuff like that, again, even though you may not use FanDuel, you still want to look at their lines as a source of information on, where should these lines be set. So if you go over to rushing props, right, and we just look at the attempts line, you're going to see all these other books have his line at 16.5. FanDuel has his line at 16.5. Let's check out PrizePicks, right? All these books are data points telling you, yo, Underdog, they have their line too low. And again, all these sports books try to be unique. They all want to set lines independently. PrizePicks has his line at 16.5 as well. And that's why these opportunities exist, right? The market is super fragmented. All these books set lines independently. So as sharp bettors, we can hunt through the market, scan Underdog out of the tens of thousands of lines on Underdog. What are those, few spots where they're screwing up where we can actually get an edge? Find them, lock them in, make money long term. So parlay play, I mean, we're not winning every slip. We're throwing out a shit ton of these 6-leg parlays. We had 2 really bad beats, it looks like. And then we also had some big wins here. And, nothing's a lock. Not at all what I'm saying, but I mean, the results speak for itself. Let's see what my profit is year to date. They only have a $60 max bet size on the sports book, and I'm up like $7,000 in profit on a $60 max bet size. That's the max they allow me to bet. 24,000 total bet, 7,000 profit, literally from their website. So anyways, we can go back here and we can find some more plays on Underdog. We can take a look at Fliff as well. So the more books you have access to, like, I've said this before, more books, better, more profitable betting opportunities. So you can see, there's a bunch of different bets for tomorrow. Obviously, lower profit margin plays. This percent column is profit margin. Lower profit margin is worse. Also, farther away is worse. Like if you think about what's powerful in sports betting, it's that the money we're betting, we get back. Like it compounds very quickly. If you have a 2% ROI betting on the MLB, there's 162 games in the regular season. That's a 324, percent ROI over the course of the season. So betting on things that are far away is obviously worse because things aren't going to compound as quickly. But anyways, if we go to the Phillies game tomorrow, we can just take a look here. We got the MLB playoffs. Is here Zach Wheeler over 16.5 outs. So this tool is the positive EV tool. All it's going to do is, you put in the sports books you use. It's going to scan the market, point out value, just discrepancies in the market, spots where you can get an edge. Again, Fliff has thousands of lines up. Most of these bets suck. They're not profitable. There's no value, right? The start of finding, of making money sports betting is just finding plays with an edge. So if we go here, we can take a look at our boy Zach Wheeler over 16.5 outs. Fliff has a max bet size of 250. Again, this Fliff coins is BS, right? This is fake money. It's useless. Fliff coins. Oh, I just bet 1 million Fliff coins. It doesn't do anything. All that matters is Fliff cash right here, but you can only bet a max of $250 per bet. So you're going to see, risk amount 250. I think that's for everybody. That's just the max they allow. 2% profit margin, $250 bet, $5 in profit margin on this bet. You can see Pinnacle right here, which is known to be one of the sharpest, smartest sports books. They have this line at minus 151, right? And they've been ripping odds towards the over. So who knows, right? Maybe lineups change. Again, like lines can move for any reason. Weather changes, sharp action, lineup changes, whatever. Like all this stuff moves around lines. Like, right, whoever was pitching, for the Phillies against the Braves, like when the Braves starting lineup is released, that affects that pitcher's, strikeout line, how much juice towards the over, like all that stuff has to move around. So here it's like pretty clear. Caesars, multi-billion-dollar company, they've ripped their line from -110 to -161. You're not going to outmodel Caesars. I don't care how smart you are. This is a $10 billion company. You put weight into their odds. The books also have the advantage that they're taking action, right? They're taking bets and moving around lines based on where action's coming in. So if Caesars sees that all their smart, profitable customers, Caesars isn't fucking stupid. They know which customers are most profitable on Caesars. So if they see, hey, all our sharp customers are betting the over, they'll move lines towards the over. This is a market. Just like the price of a stock is based on supply and demand, it's the same thing in sports betting, right? So we're just following data to make sharp bets. Pinnacle has this line at -151. I mean, this plays, clear as day. So, there were some other bets on Underdog Fantasy. They ripped that Brocky line out from under us, but there's a ton of other bets. So you look at this player Spinks. You can see here, Hot Streak has his line at 36.5. Underdog has his line at 31.5. It's like, that's crazy. You could middle bet this, hit the under 31.5, hit the, over 31.5. That's an option. But there's a lot of esports line discrepancies right now. Damn. Man, this may be a longer live stream than I initially anticipated, but there's just a ton of line discrepancies right now in esports, which is obviously a good thing. So we can go to ParlayPlay next. Again, like the more books you have access to, the better. This bet was on Fliff. It's only available if you use Fliff. So I always recommend, like, you're going to need a bunch of sports books to be successful. So, sign up for them all. Most of them have pretty lucrative sign-up bonuses too. Like if you look up, like PrizePicks, they have, that's not what I wanted to do. If you look up PrizePicks, they have an $100 deposit match. So you put in $100, you get 100 for free. Nothing easier than that. It's just a free $100. So what we can do is we can go here and we can take a look at, like, okay, CD Lamb receptions. Let's take a look at this. This plays on ParlayPlay. So we can build a ParlayPlay slip very quickly. So if we look at NFL player receptions, it's like, okay, like PrizePicks has this line at 5.5. Underdog, 5.5. These sites all work in roughly the same way. PrizePicks, Underdog. I mean, there's slight differences from platform to platform. PrizePicks, for example, they only give you a 5x payout for 3-pick parlays, whereas Underdog Fantasy, for any 3-pick entry, you create on Underdog, they're going to give you a 6x payout. So it does kind of depend for each of these platforms. PrizePicks, Underdog, it does kind of depend, like, oh, how many picks should you be going with, kind of stuff like that. But what we can do is we can go back here. And we can try to find, some good plays for tomorrow. So let's go back to ParlayPlay. Cowboys, small favorites. So let's go back here to CD Lamb under 6. Okay, so that's the first play. Getting way too many tabs open. So where's the ParlayPlay tab? Okay, so let's go here and let's just kind of clear out the value from the market. Then we can go to bed. Here, these plays are interesting, right? Like if you look at this player, his headshot line, it's like OddsJam is pointing it out because it's a huge discrepancy. Again, Hot Streak is a really easy sports book to beat. They have this guy's line at 38.5, right? I mean, this is literally insane, right? Like once you start to think about it, it's crazy. This is the same damn bet. It's 34.5 on ParlayPlay, hit the over. It's 38.5 on Hot Streak, hit the under. Middle bet it, right? we could do that. I mean, it's just a lot of people don't like middle betting. They think it's boring, but it is an easy way to, get an advantage, get an edge. So then we can take a look at this player. So maybe we say screw the middle for now. Maybe we do one in a bit. And then obviously when we middle bet this, if we bet the over 34.5, the under 38.5, we're just hoping that player has 35, 36, 37, or 38, headshots. Never thought I'd be betting on, headshots, but hey, just kind of how it is. So if we go to BTN, this is another CSGO play, right? Absolutely insane how many discrepancies there are right now. It's crazy. But if we take a look at this player, so we want to go to first three player map, right? It's like ParlayPlay 44.5, 46, 47, 47.5, right? Just following the data, right? Here, ParlayPlay screwing up. It's not Underdog Fantasy. It's ParlayPlay. More books we got, the better. So it's like, okay, like we got our second pick. And then, I mean, you can kind of just keep doing this. There's opportunities in first three map. There's opportunities in first two map. And again, I've never seen an esports game in my life, right? Like, it doesn't matter at all. I've never placed a bet with my gut in my life. Like, every time I place a bet, people tell me, oh, didn't you consider this player, said this in the interview that he's going to go hard? And it's like, no, I didn't consider it. I don't care. So here, 27.5, 26.5, 24.5. I mean, we're just finding plays with an edge. Most of these plays on ParlayPlay suck. But obviously, it's a Sunday night, or a Monday morning at 2 a.m. Like, these sports books aren't really on top of their lines. So some of the best bets you're going to find are when books are asleep at the wheel, such as right now, as you can tell. So then we got Austin Eckler under 4.5 receptions. So this play I don't love because I don't really love pairing, a Chargers player to go under with a Dallas player to go under. They don't really pair well together. Probably a little negative. Whoa. Holy moly. Look at this play that just popped up. So when I talk about the best bets can occur at any given time, I mean, look at this. Every sports book has this Kent State plus 7.5 favored, right? And we're getting them at plus 105. Pinnacle has this at minus 127, right? It's like, what are they doing? Like, it's crazy. So what we can do is we can go back here, and this plays only on Fliff, right? And it's crazy profitable. 10% profit margin. I'm going to bet this for $250. So on Kent State plus 7.5. Where are you? So I'm trying to move quickly because the best bets, right, they're not going to last forever. So we just want to move quickly. We can lock it in. Again, you want to use Fliff Cash. This Fliff Coins thing is fake money. It doesn't do anything. A million Fliff Coins doesn't do anything. You want to place your bet with Fliff Cash. But if you think about it, like, what is plus 105 odds? And it should be clear, right? Plus 105 is underdog odds. We're getting this at an underdog price, underdog odds. Every other sports book has them favored on the plus 7.5, right? So the way you can kind of think about this is it's like flipping a coin where the coin is weighted in your favor, right? Here, Kent State plus 7.5 is favored. So it's kind of like if we were flipping a coin where heads is the favored outcome, and we get $105 if it shows up heads, and you just have to pay $100 to enter. It's like if you could walk around, you have a coin that's 54% to show up on heads, right? And you tell people, hey, I'm flipping this coin. If it shows up heads, you give me $100 or $105. If it shows up tails, I give you $100. It's a no-brainer trade, right? It's like flipping a coin weighted in your favor where you're also getting plus money. Like, this is crazy. And if you don't believe that this bet is good, I mean, I can prove it to you, right? You can see Buffalo minus 7.5 is plus 108 on Pinnacle. So if we just kind of go here, right? Buffalo minus 7.5, and then we have Kent State plus 7.5, and then we can go to PrizePicks. But if you just go through the math very quickly, I love going through the math, right? Just imagine you bet $250 on both of these plays, right? So you can see Pinnacle, which is known to be, the sharpest bookmaker. So you don't really want to bet against them. But you can see they have Buffalo minus 7.5 at plus 108, right? Fliff you're getting plus money on both sides of the market. You're getting both bets, equal and opposite bets for plus money. Like, it's crazy. So, of course, you could only do this if you use both sports books. But just imagine, you had both sports books. So if Buffalo wins by 8+, then your bet on Pinnacle is going to win. So you're going to win 250 times 1.08. You're going to go up 270 from your bet on Buffalo minus 7.5 at plus 108. You're going to lose 250 on Fliff. Your profit's going to be $20. Now, on the other hand, if Kent State wins or Kent State loses by 7 or less, on Fliff, you're up 250 times 1.05. On Pinnacle, you're down 250. You make $13. So you make money no matter what. So you could make a risk-free profit. That's called arbitrage betting. It's, this is an actual betting strategy. You could make a risk-free profit, right, by betting on equal and opposite outcomes on two sports books here. So we know one of these bets has to be profitable by definition. And it's pretty clear that it's Kent State plus 7.5. Like, they're the ones screwing up here big time. FanDuel has this minus 120, Pinnacle minus 127. Very simple, just following the data. Lines are moving towards Illinois as well. I mean, if you take a look right here, like, in general, lines have been moving towards Illinois. I picked them up a little earlier, though, so we'll skip over that. There's some arbitrage bets for tomorrow, but whatever. So anyways, let's go back here. Let's finish out this parlay play slip. Damn. So, we just kind of stumbled upon that play. So what we could take is Jake Ferguson over 3.5 receptions. So if we go here, right, this pair is kind of well together. We don't really want to take every Cowboys receiver to go over in receptions. It doesn't make a ton of sense. So we could take like Jake Ferguson over 3.5 receptions, right? The way that parlay play works is very similar to PrizePicks, right? They have fixed payouts. You take the over, you take the under, you get the same payout. Any 4 picks you select, you're getting a 2x payout. So what you want to do is you want to look at the sports books. All the sports books have Ferguson heavily favored to go over. So that's, the sharp pick you'd want to go with. So how does that pair? I mean, what you do need to kind of consider, though, and I'm not trying to kill too much time before we just finish out this play, but when you're playing receivers together from the same team, you just kind of want to consider the correlation. So, for example, if we take Ferguson over and Lamb over, it seems like it's positively correlated to take Ferguson over and Lamb under. So these plays do pair well together. So we have 4 good picks, all positively correlated. Again, you just want to be a little careful when you're, playing crap in the same game. Then we have 2 crazy middle bets. We could bet the over 34.5, the under 38.5 if we wanted to. There's a lot of esports line discrepancies right now. So maybe we just go here and we can take sound over, right? Hot streak in general seems to be sharper than at least parlay play. So that seems, so we can just roll with one of those. Why not? Hot streak has line at 38.5. I mean, I'm just kind of trying to finish out the slip, and then we can take Hamsam over 3.5. So none of these plays, again, I'm not saying anything's a lock, a guaranteed win, right? I'm not saying any of that bullshit. So actually, this pick is from the same game, so we're not going to be able to play it. So let's just go to him over 3.5, which is what we want. And then how do we feel about Austin Eckler under? So again, like when you're playing props in the same game, you just kind of want to consider correlation. So Eckler under actually appears to be positively correlated. So that play seems good. So there's a little value on Eckler, and it also looks like it's positively correlated, taking him under 53.5 rushing yards. And what you can do on parlay play is you can bump a line in your favor. This is like a promo they do every day. You can just like bump a line up in your favor. 53.5, you can bump him up and get him under 55.5. But I'm just going to, whatever, screw that. I'm just going to play it. for the full $2,400 payout, which again, we hit today, which I'm pretty happy about. So there we go. We got a nice little 6-pick entry to kind of start the day. And now you can see, like, we got all the good plays on ParlayPlay in general. They only have a max bet size of $60. So what the fuck am I going to do? Like, sit here and look at it more? No. So let's go over back to Underdog Fantasy. Let's take a look at what they got going on. Underdog seems to have a lot more opportunity. Again, what kind of sucks about esports is you just have less data points, right? When you look at, like, the NFL, this play on Tony was clear as day, right? There's like dozens of other sports books who are all setting his line at 16.5 rushing attempts. It's pretty clear, like, Underdog is sleeping. They have their line too low. We want to take the over. Again, like, the reason this is all crazy is there's one damn price for a stock. You go to Fidelity, you go to E-Trade, you go to Robinhood. This is the price for Facebook, right? The reason sports betting is so profitable is, like, these discrepancies. I mean, once you start to internalize it, it'll just amaze you. It amazes me every single day how dumb some of these sports books can be and how much money we can make off them. 26.5 on one sports book, this player's line, 33.5 on another book. It's insane. I mean, it's literally insane. So anyways, we can go back here. And it's not only Underdog Fantasy. You can see PrizePicks is sleeping as well. In some spots, I mean, we got a lot of esports going on right now. But it does look like there's some solid plays, like Micah Parsons under 4.5 tackles plus assists. So this is in the Cowboys game. So we can start building a PrizePicks slip. I mean, there's value on PrizePicks. There's value on Underdog. So it's kind of like, where do we want to start? So again, like, I don't really love these picks. Like, you can kind of see right here that only have one data point. You kind of want to find spots where, every book is kind of aligned. Like, if you look at Micah Parsons, again, if you go through the math behind PrizePicks, which I've done a bunch of times, so I don't want to dwell on it. I have a bunch of videos on YouTube kind of breaking down PrizePicks strategy. But the way that PrizePicks works, right, is they have fixed payouts. Just like Underdog, any 2 damn picks you select, you're getting a 3x payout. Over, under, whatever. Switch this to DAC, 3x payout. Any 2 picks, 3x payout, right? So what PrizePicks' business model is they assume you can only win these picks, your over-unders, 50% of the time, right? Dumb people with no advantage, no edge, they win 50% of their picks. They lose 50%. Like flipping a coin, 50 heads, 50 tails. 50% to win, 50% to lose. Like if I let my grandma pick Micah Parsons over under 4.5, she's going to basically blindly select his over or under. She's 50-50 to win. But on PrizePicks, you need a real advantage. You have to win your picks above 54.25% of the time to win. If you win your picks 50% of the time, your ROI will be negative 25% playing 5 flex plays. This is just a spreadsheet breaking down the math behind PrizePicks. Again, I have a ton of other YouTube videos that kind of like go through the same thing, much more in depth. But on PrizePicks, we need a real edge, right? We need to be able to win our bets 55% of the time, only losing 45% of our picks to be profitable. So if you look at like Micah Parsons, for example, so if we go over to the Chargers game and we just take a look at what are sportsbooks telling us, right? What is the data telling us? Data will never lie long-term. Sure, you're going to lose some bets. Nobody wins every bet. That's not the point. The point is following data, using your brain, being rational is what makes money long-term. Every sportsbook has him heavily favored to go under. His under is heavily favored. He's more likely to go under. That's why the under is the sharp pick on PrizePicks, right? PrizePicks will give you the same payout if you take him to go over or you take him to go under. You're still getting a 3x payout. So you want to take him to go under. That's a sharp pick to go with. So it's like, okay, cool. These plays we can skip over. I mean, they're good middle bets. A lot of these are great middle betting opportunities, right? Here, there's a discrepancy, 31.5 versus 29.5. Like, OddsJam just points out, discrepancies, value, however you want to think about it. And right now, these sports books are tripping. I mean, there are discrepancies all over. So here, 32.5, 34, 35.5. Again, what kind of sucks about esports is, agreed, the markets aren't as, liquid. There's not a ton of data points. There's not a ton of action in the markets, but it doesn't matter, right? So we want to take the over 32.5, 34, 35.5. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what sport you're betting on. If you're betting on Korean baseball or whatever, when you're getting massive discrepancies, if you can middle bet, hit the over, hit the under, these huge discrepancies, you're just going to make money. It doesn't matter what sport you're betting on, right? At all. These are huge discrepancies in the market, huge opportunities, inefficiencies, however you want to think about it. And, we just want to take advantage of them. So anyways, you can see there's a lot of discrepancies where there's only a couple sports books that have lines posted. So that's just kind of esports for you. But if we take a look here, here's another one. 27.5, 29, 31.5 with the over favored. So this is another play that seemingly has a pretty strong edge that we can go ahead and we can lock in. So there's our second pick. And again, a lot of these you could also middle bet. I'm not saying there's a perfect answer. If LeBron's line was 27.5 points on PrizePicks, 31.5 on a different sports book, you can always just middle bet it. You'll win both bets if LeBron has 28, 29, 30, 31, points. It's kind of up to you. It just, there's no perfect answer as to should you middle bet something, should you not. So here's, early arbitrage bet. Could lock this in. You can see FanDuel has just been moving lines towards Kent State, right? They've moved them from -110 to -122. Fliff still sitting at +105. This is already arbitrage. You could bet both outcomes, right? Bet Kent State on Fliff, bet Buffalo on FanDuel or Pinnacle or a bunch of other sports books. These are just the books in my location. But if you switch to another state, you'll see, you could arb this between a ton of sports books. So one of these bets has to be profitable. And again, what's great about college football compared to esports is there's a ton of books that post lines. So it's very clear in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You have 16 books, all independently setting lines that have put millions of dollars into their ability to model lines, good data feeds, move lines based on where action's coming in, where sharp action's coming in, where action's coming in from smarter customers, more sophisticated customers who have made money off them. These books aren't fucking dumb. This plays clear as day. Fliff is, who knows what they're doing, but that's clearly a play, we want to be on. But anyways, let's go back here. Let's go back to building out our PrizePicks slip. So early college football bets, Hawaii +112 on WinBet. Again, I don't know what books you use. There's hundreds of sports books out there. Canada has a shit ton of sports books. A lot of people use, OddsJam in Canada. I'm sure it's profitable. I'm not Canadian, though. I can't tell you anything about Canadian sports books, what books are the best to get, all that sort of stuff. But you can see there are just a lot of discrepancies. So here's another option, right? A core, 30.5, 32.5, 34.5 with the over favored, right? On PrizePicks, all you got to do to be profitable, this is literally the math behind a 5-pick flex play. All you got to do to be profitable is win above 54.25% of your bets. And if you can get a 5% ROI on PrizePicks, think about how quickly that compounds in profit. 5% on your bets. You're betting on games that are today or tomorrow, depending on what time zone you're in. This game's at, 1:30 PST. So if you could have a 5% ROI daily, think about how quickly it compounds. What's going to screw you is the limits. The hard part isn't getting a good ROI sports betting. The hard part is most of these books, especially once they realize you're smart, they only give you an $100 max bet size. So like on this ParlayPlay platform, I said again, we've been crushing them. Every pick I give out on Twitter or on live stream, but they only have a $60 max bet size. There's not enough bets that I can find with an edge that I can just sit here all day and hammer out tens of thousands of dollars of bets on ParlayPlay, even though I'm up $7,000 on 25K total bet, let's call it. So have like a 30% ROI on this platform. The hard part is finding action to get down. The hard part is getting down the volume and consistently doing it because it takes time, right? This isn't passive income. So this play very clearly, every data point is telling you, yo, this line should be higher. This play has an edge. The over has an edge. This pick is winning above 54.25% of the time. The thing is we're putting in time to find this bet, right? Like all this shit takes time. Nothing's free. So in sports betting, you pay with time and you pay with knowledge. So let's go back here. And sometimes you get lucky. Like we just kind of stumbled upon this incredible bet on Kent State. I can guarantee you by the time you wake up tomorrow, that bet will be gone. That bet will be gone. But it's here now. So might as well take advantage if you can. But anyways, let's go back here. Let's build out our PrizePicks slip. So a lot of these plays are just in the same game. So that kind of screws us on PrizePicks. Again, you're not able to bet on things from the same game. Kind of screws you. So we have what? 1, 2, 3 picks. We want 2 more, 5 flex plays. Again, PrizePicks gives you a shitty payout. They only give you a 5x payout for these 3 pick entries. Underdog Fantasy gives you a 6x payout. So it really does matter, like, yo, how many picks are you going with in your slips? And we just can't take anything else in this phase game or the bet boom game. So we got to find something new. So maybe we just, okay, we got a couple good plays, whatever. We can go here. We can take like Denny Slaw under 31.5, wasting way too much time. So this is under 31.5. Versus 500. So, yep, this is correct. Are there any NFL plays that look halfway decent? Dak Prescott over 1.5 passing TDs. Kind of marginal, but hey, whatever. This also pairs well with Micah Parsons, right? So if you think about it, if Dallas is having a great game, they have possession of the ball longer, they're driving. Dak is more likely to, if Dallas has the ball more and they're playing a good game, the defense is going to be on the field less. So Micah Parsons is more likely to go under and Dak Prescott's more likely to go over. And again, the hard part about making money on PrizePicks, it's not the strategy we're discussing. The hard part, what the fuck is this? I don't want this. How do I get rid of this? Oh. The hard part is, it's just getting down the volume. Oh, your max bet size is only $25. So it's like, okay, which is why I kind of hate PrizePicks at this point. But anyways, here we have a nice little 3-pick entry for tomorrow. Some esports plays, and then we got 2 NFL plays to hopefully finish off the day. And these first 2 games start soon. And you can tell, like, these books aren't watching their lines. A lot of action's coming in. Things are moving around. But all these inefficiencies exist in the market. It's just like, what the heck? So we can go back to Underdog Fantasy because there was some good value there. And, I mean, it's insane. Like, I don't have any other way to describe, like, if anyone's from a numbers background or you're a numbers guy, financial guy, like, it's crazy. I would be a full-time day trader if I could go to different platforms and see stocks $7 off from one another, 30% differences in stock prices. Like, this is why sports betting is profitable. Line is 29 on PrizePicks, 26.5 on Underdog. And again, Where is it? 32.5 on hot streak. It's like, yo, what the heck? It's crazy. So we got another play for tomorrow. But again, I only have $100 max bet sizes. So that's what kind of sucks. So I'm going to have to go back here. And now I'm going to need some picks to pair it with. Again, I already have a play in this game. So all these Bet Boom team ones, got to skip over. Got to find another play. Zaiwu. So we can take a look at this guy. Every other book has his line significantly higher. Hot streak has him at 39.5. It's just like, damn. And then again, all these plays are in the same game, except for this one. This 27, 29, 29.5. And there's more value in the market. It's just, kind of talking about the same stuff right here, but let's make sure this is right. So here we have versus Team Falcon. So this looks correct. So it's like, okay, we can go ahead and we can lock this in for $100. And again, only $100 max bet size. I would love to. Underdog used to let me bet much more. Now it's just $100. Ooh, I guess I already bet this play on Zaiwu. So we're going to have to skip over this play on Zaiwu. And we'll have to find another play in this game. In the phase game. So we can go here. And what do we like? I mean, it's just crazy. Crazy. 22, 23.5, 25.5. So here we have another play. And then we can go ahead and we can kind of lock it in. So we got some good plays for tomorrow. We already hit this play on Tony. Any other non-esports plays? I mean, esports, obviously, it has a lot of discrepancies, but it doesn't look like there's a ton of NFL value right now. These chili peppers all suck. I went through them. I've been trying to find some decent value in those chili pepper ones, but not always easy. So if we take a look here at NFL, is there anything? So you can see here, it's like, if you wanted a play for tomorrow in the NFL that also seems halfway decent, is you can see all the sports books have, Tony heavily favored score a touchdown. He's a minus 145 favorite on Pinnacle, which is, again, known to be one of the sharpest or one of the smartest sports books. They have his line at minus 145. Same with, Barstool. Like, all these books have him heavily favored to score a TD. So, again, it's very simple strategy at the end of the day on PrizePicks. I mean, it all boils down. Literally, the entire website boils down. It's fixed payouts, right? They give you the same payouts based on any 5-pick flex play you create. So literally the entire website boils down to, can you win your picks above 54.25% of the time, right? If you can win your picks on PrizePicks 60% of the time, your over-unders, just like this over-under on Tony, if you can win these over-unders 60% of the time, you're going to be super profitable. So again, the reason this is a pick winning above 54.25% of the time is all the sports books have them heavily favored minus 145, right? They all have them heavily favored to score a touchdown. So that seems like a great play to go with. Just following, the data points we have in the market. So we can go back here, okay, locked in this. I mean, I always say I kind of like to clear out the value before I go to bed. Whatever. There's some more value on Illinois, but I already bet them for how much money? I don't remember. But I hit them on WinBet. Again, WinBet's one of, a lot of people will be like, man, the shit people talk about on Twitter that's not sports betting. I already bet Illinois +4 at minus 110 odds. But yeah, so I'm not going to double down, but getting them +3 seems decent. This play already hit. These plays are, below 1% profit margin. It's like whatever. No really good arbitrage bets for tomorrow. I mean, this play you could arbitrage bet. Flip has a max bet size of 250. You could bet this for 256 on FanDuel. Make a risk-free 625 if you use FanDuel. Arbitrage betting, day trading the sports books inefficiencies. When books get so out of sync, you can bet the over on one side, the under on another side, or just equal and opposite outcomes. Buffalo -7.5, Kent State +7.5. You bet equal and opposite outcomes to guarantee yourself a risk-free profit. That's arbitrage betting. Damn. Man, this is just crazy. Can't get over it. Maybe we do have to lock in one more pick. Let's look at our boy Zorti, right? It's just like, what is going on, guys? They have his line at 31.5. It is like the craziest shit I've ever seen. They have his line at 33.5 here. It's like, whoa. They have his line at 36.5. Hit the over 31.5. Hit the under 36.5. That seems pretty good, doesn't it? Because you got to remember, this player's line, like, he's not going to have 400 kills. He's not going to have 0. Like, what his line is centered around, 31.5, those are most impactful, right? Like, when you think about the NFL, if you go to the NFL, like, Dak between 240 and 260 is very likely compared to 0 to 20 passing yards or 1,000 to 1,020 passing yards. 240 to 260, that band, 240 to 260 is very impactful. So, like, getting a player, over 31.5, under 35 and 6.5, 36.5. I mean, that's crazy, guys. Like, that's insane. It's just crazy. So, in a good way, not crazy in a bad way. I don't mean for that to sound like it's a bad thing. That's a good thing. So maybe we do got to lock in one more. Maybe we do got to lock in one more PrizePicks slip. Or sorry, Underdog Fantasy slip. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. Magisic, over 33. Let's take our boy over 30, or no. What looks a little better? Meh. Again, it's just sometimes hard to, like, I try to find spots where PrizePicks and Hot Streak both have their line significantly higher. You can always middle bet some of these if you want to. It's just kind of up to you, and risk tolerance. It's like this player. So it doesn't look like we locked in MHL yet, but, like, I mean, look at this, right? Line is 13 headshots here. You go over to PrizePicks, and it's like, okay. We look at PrizePicks, and everything's baked into the market, right? Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, you're not considering injuries. Baked into the market. You're not considering the weather. It's baked into the market. It's all baked into the market, right? That's what's great about markets, right? If Facebook stock has fraud tomorrow and there's some news report that they did all this fraud, that's going to be reflected in the stock price come the coming day, right? You see people say all the time, yo, I'm betting the under because Jalen Hurts is injured. It's like every sports bettor knows that. Every sports book knows that. The entire market knows that. Maybe if you have confidential information about a player, that's different, right? But no offense, I assume you don't. If you're homies with Dak Prescott, then please tell us all what to bet tomorrow. But I assume you're not. So you can see Ducky's line is 16.5. It's 14.5 here. So here's another play. Damn. Lot of bets right now. Bird from Sky. These people have the most random names, though. And I could sit here all night and just place bets and not go to bed, but probably don't want to do that. Oh, this was the team. I thought this was Valorant. It's not Valorant. It's Verdant. That makes more sense now. So anyways, here's another 3-pick entry we can go with. I mean, it's crazy, right? 13 versus 11. It's like you'd think you were getting your own Taco Tuesday, right? You're creating your own discounts, your own promos, your own profitable bets just by hunting for this value in the market. And again, middle betting, OddsJam has a tool for it right here. It's a great strategy, just middle betting these inefficiencies in the market. Yeah. So there's a ton more, but fucking tired, man. So we'll call it a day for now. I'm going to watch The Wire, my favorite show. Have a great rest of your night.